Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host Wally, and today we are checking out some of the state parks along the Texas Gator Trail. Today we are just 17 miles north of Beaumont at Village Creek State Park. This is a pretty small state park for the most part, but as you can see, plenty of people come and camp out and bring their trucks and RVs and everything. There's a group pavilion there in case you want to do group activities. It's like your local park, which is what a lot of these communities need. They don't need all the big bells and whistles. They just need a nice little park with a creek. There's Village Creek right there. Looks more like a river, but it's a creek. And it's overrun with water right now because it's been raining. But that's sometimes all the community needs, is just a place to go and experience nature and enjoy nature and teach your kids about being outdoors and going fishing and canoeing. And this park is perfect for that. This is where you normally launch canoes and your kayaks, but as you can see, the water has been flowing pretty fast. It was at level orange, which means it can be dangerous, so watch out. But here's your canoe rentals and your kayak rentals if you're into that sort of thing. Well, I didn't quite have time for it this time, so maybe some other time. But you can walk around, see some of the trails that they have. This is the primitive camping area where you can just go and find a nice little bench and claim it and start camping under the big tall trees. And they have these things called sloughs. I think that's the way you pronounce them, slough, which is marshy, watery areas that come from the creeks. It's not quite moving water, so it's just sort of stagnant, just laying there, so I'm not too much of a fan of it. But at least they have some bridges that go over them, so you don't need to get all up in there, because it doesn't look too appetizing. Look at that. But it's part of nature, so it's there to stay. But this park is a pretty nice park to go. There's plenty of shade. There's no elevation gain anywhere, so it's pretty much an easy park to go hiking in. Now once you're here at camping and hiking, you can take some of the trails that lead out to different areas. Most of them follow along the shore of the creek. As you can see, it's pretty flat and there's plenty of shade, so don't be afraid of anything. And then this is probably my favorite camping spot. If I come here, I want to stay at this one. I think it's campsite 32. But look how pretty that looks. You're right next to the creek, up on a bluff, and you got plenty of flat space and plenty of trees. And you can take in the views of the creek and watch all the people paddle on by. So I kind of walked around and felt myself a little bit and did my little ritual to save this place for myself in the future, for when I'm old and camping. And then I decided to follow along one of the trails, trying to get to a swimming spot, even though it was kind of overcast and ready to rain. And then I ran across a blockade. One of the sloughs or slows sort of was overflowing, and you couldn't get from one side of the trail to the other without stepping into all that muddy, crusty, crummy water, which didn't look too appetizing. And I thought about it and decided, you know what, no, I'm not gonna get in there. I'm just gonna walk on back. I had a good run. I should just see what the rest of the park has to offer. So I went back, took some of the other trails, and I did not regret it one bit. It was nice and easy. This is part of the park that burnt down, so they had a program to have it grow again from scratch, and it was pretty cool to seeing the different levels of grasses that are growing as the forest tries to reclaim its territory once again. And then of course you just continue to walk around, doing some hiking. Not a lot of people were out hiking, so you pretty much had the whole place to yourself. One of the hikes was taking you right alongside one of the Sloughs, so that was pretty cool. And And then, of course, those trees are actually pretty. And then you reach a crossroads and you figure out which way you want to go. And I think I want to go back to my car. So I headed over that way. Along the way, I saw some more of the sites, some more of the restoration areas, which I'm glad these forest people are doing for us because, forests are definitely worth protecting. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this trip through Village Creek State Park, and don't forget to leave a comment. Bye-bye.